First of all, happy fucking New Year, 2021. We've made it. We are out of the wilderness. This year, it's all caviar and butterflies. My name is Jeremy Concepcion. This is the Ethanol Review, where I talk about all things alcohol. Liquors, beers, cocktails, wines, you fucking name it, and we've probably explored it on this channel. If that sounds interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button somewhere on the screen. And if you find some value from this channel, I highly encourage you to go to patreon.com/theethanolreview. I'll have that posted in the comments below. If you want to donate, if you want to keep me off of the streets begging for liquor money, just so I can get that bottle of cheap vodka and shoot a video and tell you all about it, keep me inside, guys. Hashtag keep Jeremy off the streets. This week we're going to talk about Amaro Montenegro. For the uninitiated, what is Amaro? Amaro is a subcategory of liqueur that essentially at its base is a neutral spirit, think like a vodka or eau de vie, that is infused with various botanicals, herbs, roots, flowers, all kinds of different things that are infused into this neutral spirit, aged either in a cask or in a stainless steel vat, cut with water, sometimes sweetened, sometimes colored, and then bottled. There are hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of different Amaro out there, these Italian bitters. That's what Amaro means, bitter in Italian. And a lot of these Amaro are in fact bitter. Not all of them though. What I really like about this category of liqueur is it's very, very diverse. It ranges all over the alcohol spectrum from 15% aperitif style Amaro that you would drink before you eat to 40% alcohol digestives that you would drink after having a big meal to settle your stomach. Something like Fernet Branca, which I've shot a video on. I highly encourage you watch that one. It's pretty cool. Sometimes Fernet Branca is called the bartender's handshake. Anyway, I like the diversity of these spirits. You can drink some of them just all on their own, neat, and enjoy it. Some are a bit too intense and actually really need to go into a cocktail, but most of them, like Amaro Montenegro, you can do both. You can drink it neat, enjoy the hell out of it, or you can plug it into a cocktail and get some more depth and complexity. To give you a very simple example of what this could look like, let's take Amaro Montenegro, which is 23% alcohol, relatively sweet. It's got some bitterness in there, and when I do the tasting with you, I'll talk more about that. But imagine if you had a classic Manhattan recipe. So let's say 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 1 ounce of the sweet vermouth, 2 ounces of rye or bourbon. If you take an Amaro, like Amaro Montenegro, you can substitute it in for a piece of that vermouth, right? So instead of that build I gave you, try 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, half an ounce of Amaro Montenegro, for example, half an ounce of your sweet vermouth. It could be Carpano Antica if you want to keep it Italian, or you could go French with Dolin Rouge or maybe Nuit Prat, and then add that 2 ounces of your rye or your bourbon. And you've got something that's similar to the Manhattan or whatever build you're going to use. Let's say it's an old-fashioned build. It's similar, but it's different. So these Amaros give you that flexibility to take something old and make it new and different. Now, Amaro Montenegro itself, this comes from Bologna, Italy, not Bologna, Italy, Bologna, Italy, and it was made originally in 1885, I believe. There's a story behind it. You know, some guy came from a family, I think, that was going into the priesthood, and he decided, no, I don't want to do that. You know, I want to make alcohol. And so he made this botanical infusion. I think there's around 40 different botanicals in it, and the rest is history. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and get to the tasting of this Amaro. Well, I'm not sure if you can see it too well in the light, but kind of a reddish orange thing going on. A little brown. Maybe kind of amber. It's a really pretty color. This does say that it contains caramel coloring, which is perfectly legal. So they make it look this way on purpose. It's not just the herbs and the roots and all that stuff. They were going for a specific color, and it's very pretty. The aroma is kind of like black tea, like an Earl Grey tea with lots of orange peel and maybe a bit of coriander. Yeah, almost reminds me of a Belgian wit beer, but with more caramel. Lots of orange though, lots of orange. Really good aroma. This is good. The nose and the aroma, the nose and the palate are actually really similar. Still a lot of orange. Still has that kind of vanilla black tea, Earl Grey kind of thing going on. But what I like about this is you have two things going on at once in your palate. Kind of on the top, on the roof of your mouth, there's some sweetness, that kind of vanilla sweetness. But in the back, on the back of your tongue, there's bitterness, which is great. To have two different things going on in the palate at the same time denotes a level of complexity, which if you've seen these videos of mine, I really like complexity. And I think complexity can be found in simplicity. I know it sounds kind of strange, but this has movement to it, which is great. And this is just drinking it neat. You could also take it on the rocks, which would presumably mellow out the bitterness that's on there a little bit. But I actually like it. It makes you want another sip. It makes you a little hungry too. I wouldn't mind having some cheese right now. That'd be freaking wonderful. Like maybe a really creamy fucking camembert, funky, and this bitterness I think would do really well to cut some of that creamy funk. This is good. I think this is a great introduction into Amaro for Americans. A lot of American palates don't do well with bitterness, and a lot of Amaros can be quite bitter. However, this is just sweet enough that I think it would be a really great way to get into this subcategory of liqueur. And again, if you want to use it behind the bar, I can tell you from personal experience, this is very versatile. You can do a lot of cool shit with Amaro Montenegro because it has that sweet and bitter element and there's layers to it. So you can take a very basic build, like the Manhattan I mentioned before, do some substituting, and have a really cool new drink that you can impress your punk ass friends with. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Again, if you enjoyed the video, if you like the channel, subscribe, and I encourage you, go to patreon.com/theethanolreview and donate some money. # keep Jeremy off the street.